Concert for Between the Cracks for 2012. My name is Dana Reason, and I'm one of the coordinators, and, along with Michael Coolin, and we've got Colin Malloy, and oh, I'm just not going to get into that right now, so hold on. And Kevin on guitar. Tonight we have a special presentation with, this is our first time using the Skype to bring in our artists. As you know, times are tough economically, and this pushes us to start thinking about new ways in which we can collaborate with other artists that don't live close to us. And so we are attempting this tonight with Michael Boyce, who's a writer. He's living in Vancouver, BC. He's the author of 2 novels published by Pedlar Press, Monkey and Anderson. And we actually have copies of his novel for sale tonight for $15. So he's going to be, well, I should let him explain what he's going to be doing with his piece tonight, with the ensemble tonight. Would you mind just to turn off your cell phones for tonight? I just wanted to remind you of that. Michael, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you're going to do, and then we'll get started?
Sure. Okay. Hi, everybody. From Vancouver, BC. Hello to Corvalis, Oregon. What I'm doing tonight is, rather than the usual kind of thing where an author typically will read a short segment from a novel, if it's a novel that they're reading, and in previous times that I've read this, that's what I've done. I've started at the beginning and I read the first chapter, because it's a mystery novel in a way. A strange kind of mystery novel, but a mystery novel nevertheless. I usually just read the first chapter because I don't want to give anything away. But for tonight, I thought it would be interesting to treat the text more like music, and to pull out of it samples or segments, quotations from it, that would all be gathered under a kind of theme. And the theme for tonight is the strangeness, which is kind of permeates the story of Anderson, who's a kind of a detective, or he thinks of himself as a detective anyway. He's not a kind of police detective, private eye. He's a detective who helps people out without them even really knowing that he's helping them out. So he's a detective that works in the metaphysical realms. Strange detective. So I collected a number of quotes that were about the strangeness, and we've sort of laid them out so that I can better collaborate with this fine ensemble that's on stage tonight. That's pretty much the sum of it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it works. And I wish that I could physically be there, but I'm very, very happy that I can at least be there in this perhaps fittingly strange way.
And before we start, I just want to make sure I introduce the ensemble. So we have Michael Coolin on typewriters and percussion. We have Colin Malloy on array of percussion. We have Steve Willis on upright bass, and Kevin Patton on guitar, and myself on piano.
I think it's like impressions of the audience.
Strange detective Anderson sits down on a toilet in a stall at the Speak, an after-hours club. On the back of the door he reads, "I'm infected with a memory. It's haunting me. if you find me at Half Moon Ether Night, maybe you can help me.
Help you, help you.
Half Moon Ether Night is a special thing that happens every Sunday night at a small bar called The Belly. The DJ mixes slow, thick beats and psychedelic dirges, including Pede rock, with Hawaiian, tango, African, and Brazilian percussion, and marching band music. It's not for everyone, but Anderson likes it there.
It's not for everybody.
He doesn't often go, but when he does, he enjoys the atmosphere. And the people, mostly misfits like him, are playful and friendly. And interesting to watch. It's open, it's friendly, and it has a thing for strangeness. There's not much else to do that's strange on a Sunday night. And strange is where it's at, Anderson.
Not much to do on a Saturday night.
The things that he investigates are sometimes rather subtle, and because they happen in the strangeness, the protocol for dealing with them is a little more obscure, if not occult. It's not like following a recipe. Looking for a clue in the strangeness is not like trying to bake a cake. You have to pay attention to suggestive things. You have to learn to go along with what appears to be sometimes unrelated tangents and associations. You have to know how to read between the lines. And you have to have a knack for sorting out what matters from what just seems to matter, or from what you want to matter.
Pay attention.
He's also learnt the way of seeing what is obvious, dealing with the strangeness, with very subtle things, with things that are obscure and occult, has made him prone to looking in the shadows and at the cracks in walls and ceilings, so to speak, in the margins. But sometimes clues are hiding in plain sight.
Between the cracks. Wall. Pay attention.
The evening starts off normally enough. He's standing at the bar waiting for a beer. He spots a strange-looking girl coming over. He expects that she is going to order something for herself. But she doesn't order anything. She just leans against the bar facing him in an inviting sort of way, and smiles. He looks at her and gets a funny feeling in his stomach. A tingle travels up his spine. It radiates all over.
Funny feeling in his stomach. Funny.
No one else seems to notice that anything is strange. He keeps this resolution all week, standing on his head in the morning, and in the evening reading or listening to strange instrumental music. Or just staring into space. Not even going out for a walk.
Staring into space.
It makes it easier for him to spend his off-time hours dealing with the strangeness, with the secret, hidden worlds, the shadow worlds, the worlds of dark imagination. The worlds of dark imagination that affect the ordinary world. And the ordinary world doesn't know it's there. It doesn't know what's happening. It doesn't know that something's happening to it.
Doesn't look right. Doesn't look right. World doesn't look right. Doesn't look right. Doesn't look right. Doesn't look right.
She might be a sign of something more important and more critical that's happening in the strangeness. She could be just a side effect of something else. She might be the clue, not the case. This whole thing is weird. But he likes the strangeness of the situation. Ordinary things are whatever you expect from them, which is a condition that's all right in its own way, but it's not as interesting to someone like himself who is searching through the strangeness for some sign of the profound.
Searching through the strangeness.
Today it makes him feel like he's a priest. Not just any sort of priest, a detective priest. He's a priest detective of the strangeness.
Searching through the strangeness.
Autumn is the season with the strongest magic. The season when the strangeness will express itself the most. that moment just before you fall asleep, when the routine replay of events from the ordinary daytime living coincide and correspond with fantastic images and unreal situations of unfolding dreams. That is when the magic of the strangeness happens.
Magic. Magic. Magic Street.
And if some spirit from the world of dreams is entering the waking world, then it could bring an aspect of the dreaming world along with it. That could have put Anderson into a state of wakeful dreaming, which could make the strangeness seem more present. More present. A state of wakeful dreaming, more present. Sure, he has a daytime job, but it's not his job that matters to him. Solving cases matters to him. And helping people out. And being in the strangeness. The mystery of her is even greater because she comes out of the strangeness. Her ordinariness makes less sense to him than her strangeness does. Are they really part of the strangeness, though? Like in the way that she is? There may be something steering all of this. The strangeness? He can deliberate at length on the basis of the slightest impression. That's what makes him good at doing what he does, at being a detective in the strangeness.
Detective.
All this craziness and supreme strangeness, the most the strangeness has ever dealt to him, in itself could account for why he feels like death warmed over now. It's like a textbook noir duplicity. Only one that's happening in the strangeness. Where the details are a little harder to work out sometimes.
God. Okay. Strangers.
The city that he lives in now is a city made for walking mostly. That's the kind of city he likes. He pretty much likes the city he lives in now. It is big enough. It's full of strangeness. That's for sure. And that's what it's all about for him. Detecting in the strangeness. That might not be the way that real ordinary kinds of detectives in the real world go about it, but he doesn't really do his work in the real and ordinary world. He does his work in the strangeness, which is much more like worlds in movies and in books.
Real world.
Movies and in books. Usually the strangeness shows up in the night. It has an extra emphasis of being strange when it shows up in the day. Strangeness in the day has a special power, which you tend to think is power for the good. But it's really up to people whether they consider any power of the strangeness to be good or bad, or neither, regardless if it's day or night. It depends on who or what is using it, or facing it, or needing it, or getting it, or having it sent after them. The consequences of the power of the strangeness depends on a lot of things. Anderson can roll with the power of the strangeness. but it can overtake him too. That's the weird thing about the daytime strangeness. The way it stands in blatant contrast to the evidently ordinariness of daytime.
Day or night. Day or night.
Anderson looks back at Jack, neutral, waiting, not reacting, and not thinking anything, just waiting. Anderson's good at that. You have to be if you're going to be a detective in this practice. You have to be good at waiting.
Waiting. Waiting. Waiting. Waiting. Waiting. Waiting.
Anderson takes note of the fact that Jack seems just as used to strangeness as he is. It makes him wonder if maybe Jack knows more than Anderson about what's going on. But despite his recent feeling of betrayal and all the strangeness that he cannot yet explain, he reminds himself, keep an open mind about her role in all of it. The attic is a separate secret room that Ella uses for what Anderson believes is ritualistic ceremony. It's got something to do with supernatural forces. He's pretty sure. There are occult images on the walls and a strange symbol painted on the floor. He also sees a few of Jones's drawings hanging up, including the one she got for her birthday. He hears strange music also, but he cannot tell where it's coming from.
Strange music. Lefties. Left back. Yes.
In the strangeness, law and order is not an issue. The way of the strangeness is something that he seeks to know, to understand, while helping others out in the process if he can. Thank you, Squire, says Jack in a put-on British accent, playfully and apparently oblivious to the bad moods and the tension and the strangeness all around him. He knows the chances that he takes by being in the strangeness. Taking chances leads to danger. It also leads to knowledge and excitement. He throws the glass to the floor and everybody laughs. Anderson can sense a power in the strangeness. Yes, it's very strange in here tonight. matter though, because everything is just as though it really does have form. He couldn't really blame her for that, considering the circumstances, and besides, it is an occupational hazard for detectives, especially for detectives in this strangeness. The funny thing is, what it is that makes him special, what gives him his particular abilities, what informs his power, comes precisely from the fact that he is always to find out what he is and what he's capable of doing. He doesn't take anything for granted. He doesn't know the end of anything. He's always trying to find out how far anything can go. That's why he's good at doing what he's doing. Detecting in the strangeness, solving mysteries, helping people out, indirectly, without them even knowing, for the most part. And he is doing so, all the while going to his day job. It is strange, and he is not freaked out, but he doesn't try to change the way he feels. He figures that he ought to try to trust the state of things. He couldn't really say, of course, what the state of things is exactly, but that is why he has to trust in it. This is a mystery, and solving it depends on methods that are equally mysterious. He's thrown himself into the middle of it, and the best thing he can do is try to keep his wits, stay balanced, pay attention to the currents and the waves. Currents and waves.
Strange.